Hello everyone, Dr. Sunil Dand. The history of medicine is rife with examples of groupthink and where the medical community has got things badly wrong. I want to focus on three examples from the last few decades only. Number one, cigarette smoking. Cigarette smoking exploded in society in the early part of the last century, and throughout the 1920s, 1930s, and 1940s, many physicians and physician organizations were participating in ad campaigns for cigarettes. It seems hard to believe, but they were. In fact, there are many examples of ads and commercials where doctors were saying that certain cigarette brands were better for your health than others. Now, suspicions began to arise in the 1950s that cigarette smoking wasn't good for your health at all. There were many negative effects on your health. But it still took some years before the Surgeon General, the US Surgeon General in the mid-1960s, finally made a statement that cigarette smoking was not good for your health. It was very damaging for your health. But many people knew, including the tobacco industry, that that was the case for a long time. Number two, thalidomide. What a tragedy. For those of you who don't know what thalidomide is, it was a medication that was used to treat nausea in pregnant women. It was widely used across Europe in the 1950s and 60s, and many health organizations were stressing how safe it was to use in pregnant women. We know what happened next. The rates of miscarriages went through the roof, and those babies who were born, unfortunate babies, were frequently born with absolutely terrible birth defects. Many are still living with those today, tens and tens of thousands of babies. But remember, medical organizations in Europe once said that thalidomide was safe to use. Number three, the war on dietary fat. Now, this is one that we're still living with the repercussions from today, because back in the 1950s and 60s, there was a lot of debate about why rates of chronic illnesses, including heart disease, were going up. Some people were blaming dietary fat, others were blaming dietary sugar, and some people were blaming other factors. But the point is that the sugar industry really didn't like people blaming sugar. So what did the sugar industry do? Well, a group called the Sugar Research Foundation basically paid a group of Harvard scientists, these were top nutritionists, to publish a study which refuted sugar as the cause of heart disease and instead put the blame on dietary fat. Now, there was a cascade effect on this study, which was published in the top medical journal, the New England Journal of Medicine. And because of this study, several authorities all around the world blamed heart disease on high fats. We now know from research that actually sugar is more likely than fats to be a cause of heart disease. And we're still living with the consequence of that corruption today. So those are three examples only from the last few decades. What makes us think that this couldn't happen again? Well, our only guard against it is keeping our eyes and ears open and being true to medicine and science, looking at data, not following dogma, and always asking the right questions. Thanks everyone for listening. Do hit the subscribe button down below for more videos, and we will speak again very soon.